Alright, we're jumping to the extra practice problems way back. Page 975, is that right? Okay, so we're going to, thanks to Taylor Holt.
Yes,
So there you go. So page 975, and we're doing, which one do we say? Number 5? Okay. Tell you what we can do one together just to remind you a little bit, and then maybe I'll give you time to do one on your own just to see if you can get it right. Is that all right?
Let's do that.
Good idea. Okay, so let's do number 5, and it's y equals 2x plus 4. And then the other one is y minus 2x equals negative 5. Okay, and it says find the distance between these two lines, and they are parallel lines. First thing I'm going to do is take this and write it so it looks like an equation of a line. So put it in slope-intercept form. It's close to it, but it's not quite there. That's pretty easy to do, though. Just add a 2x to both sides. All right, so we get y equals 2x minus 5. And I'm just going to, what?
I just want to know what you do when it's like 4.
Then you would divide by 4.
We have to divide everything by 4.
Yes. If you had a 4 out in front of this, absolutely. You would add a 2x and divide everything by 4, both of these. It'd be 2x over 4, then it'd be 5 over 4. Yeah. Okay? Make sense? And here's our two equations right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these two equations, we're going to graph them, just so that we can just visually see what's going on. Now, you may be able to do this without even graphing it. You might have done these problems so much that you don't need to graph them. But I'm going to do it by graphing. All right? And then it doesn't have to be exact. Just, general. So what do we got? We got y equals 2x plus 4. So let's say this is 4. And then the slope is 2. So we rise 2. Let's go 1, 2, and run 1. Let's say about like that. Looks good enough, doesn't it? And let's connect like this. Whoops, daisy. Grab that line again. There we go. Alright. And then I'm just going to copy and paste that line and put it down here. Y equals minus 5. And we'll say right there is negative 5. Okay? So we've got them. And we want to find the distance between those two parallel lines. Let's do the distance in blue. You've got a couple places where you can start from. You could start from this point and do a perpendicular down to here, to this line, or you could start from this bottom point right here and do a perpendicular to this. Why would I want to start at either one of these points? Well, I want to start at one of these points because I know what the actual point is, right? If you wanted to, you could start here too because you know what that point is. You just went over 2 and up 1, right? So you could go from here to here as well if you wanted to. But it's probably easier just to use either this one or this one. I'm going to pick this one right here, and I'm going to connect from here to here. Now, how does it have to hit? It has to hit, not parallel, perpendicular. Now, I don't know if it hits directly on that x-axis right there or not, so I'm not going to make any assumptions about it, but I know what this point is right here. What is that point? 0. This one's 4 because we went up 4, so that would be 0, 4. Now what about this point right here where two lines intersect each other? Don't know, so I call it x and y. Make sense? So all I got to do is find this x and y, and then I can do the distance formula and find the distance between the 2 points. Seems pretty easy, right? Problem is finding this x and y. That's where most of the work comes into play on this. So what do we do to find this x and y? Well, we take this line right here, this red one, and we take this little blue one right here, and we write the equation of both lines down. Do you hear that? We write the equation of both lines. Well, one of those lines we already know. We already know this line right here, don't we? The equation of that line. So let's write that down. That's y equals 2x minus 5. Look, the blue one's not that hard to find because I know the y-intercept. What's the y-intercept of this little blue line? It's 4, isn't it? Okay. And what's the slope? If the slope of this line is 2, what's the slope of this little blue one if it's perpendicular? Negative 1/2. You see how easy that is? So the equation of this little blue line is y equals negative 1/2 x plus 4. I'm going to write that down. Make sense? It's not too hard. Now look, what I need to do is I need to find x and y. I need to find that point where the the point of intersection of those two lines. And if here's my two equations, use substitution or elimination. I'm going to use substitution. All right, basically what I'm doing is I'm taking this and I'm substituting it in for that y. Basically, if they both equal y, they both equal each other. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set them equal to each other. Make sense? So 2x minus 5 equals negative 1/2 x plus 4. It's not that hard. I mean, you just take those two equations. Find the equation of this little one, find the equation of this red one, which you already knew in the first place, right? Put both equations next to each, or set them equal to each other, and then just solve for x. And then do some work and solve for y. And then you got your x and y. Then you do the distance formula. Really, people are making this way harder than it really is. And not necessarily in this class. Don't tell the other class I said this, but you guys catch on a little bit quicker. So I'm not really talking about you guys too much. But watch. Add a 1/2 x to both sides. I told them to watch it too, so they might. But, of course, just because I told them to watch it doesn't mean they're going to watch it. Oops. That's 5. All right, here we go. Look at this. 2 plus 1/2 is 2.5. 2.5, write it as an improper fraction. What's 2.5? It's 5/2, isn't it? You should be able to do this quick at this point, can't you? Because I could rewrite 4 as, rewrite 2 as 4 over 2. 4 over 2 plus 1 over 2 is 5 over 2. Everybody got that? Yeah, I shouldn't have to take too long on that. That cancels, that cancels. That's what? Did I do that right? 9. Okay. This one doesn't come out as pretty as what the other ones came out to be. But that's okay. That's a good thing. Because, yeah. Alright, let's just keep going. I think I did everything right, didn't I? Okay. So, I'm just used to these coming out kind of nice and easy. So that goes right there. X equals, nothing cancels here, so what's that? 18 over 5, right? Or what would that be? That'd be 3, right? And 3/5 or 3.6. Tell you what, if you want, especially since we're putting it into the distance formula, it might be easier if I write it 3.6. Right? It's up to you. I'd probably put 3.6. That is right, isn't it? Okay, 3/10, yep. Or 3/5 is, yep, okay. Alright, so now let's solve for y. Which one do you want to put it in for? Let's put it in for this one with the fraction. A lot of times you wouldn't think you'd put it in with the one with the fraction, but watch, times x. Instead of using 3.6, let's use 18 over 5. Do you understand why I'm doing that? Because the 2 will cancel out with the 18. I think it's easier that way. And then, what's the rest of it? Plus 4. So let's do that. Watch. 2 goes into this 9 times. So y equals negative 9/5 plus 4. Let's write 4 as 20/5. Would you agree? That's 11/5. And that would be what? 2 and 1/5 or 2.2. Check my math. I think I'm right on that, aren't I? So what is this point right here? Now again, we didn't draw this real accurate, did we? But that's okay. We don't really need to. So the point is 3.6 and what? 2.2. We did all that just to find that point right there. That was the most important part, I think, to this problem. Now the rest is just kind of easy. You just put it into the distance formula. Just plug and chug. Alright, I always write down these things first before I stick the numbers in. Let's write the two numbers down. I've got 0, 4, and my other point is what? 3.6 and 2.2. So let's put them in there. 3.6 minus 0, that's easy, that's just 3.6. Let's see, 4 minus 2.2, what's that, 1.8? Am I right on that?
Yeah.
Okay, now I can't do this part in my head, but you can. 3.6 squared plus 1.8 squared, take the square root of it, and hopefully you get around 4.02. Do you? Okay, good. So you put all that stuff in there, and if you put it in the calculator, hopefully you get something like that. Okay? I don't know, you can put those numbers in, can't you? In the calculator, add them, square them up, do all that kind of stuff. So there it is. That's all there is to it. Let's go through it again real quick. Watch. First thing you do, set them both, make sure you get y equals on both of them. Draw both of your lines. Take one of those points right here. That's a nice easy point to use. Drop it down to here somewhere, make sure it's perpendicular. You've got this point, 0, 4, you got to find this point. So how do you find that point? You take this equation and you set them equal to each other. That's what we did right here. How did you find this equation right here? Well, you know this slope is 2, so that has to be -1/2. You already see what the y-intercept is, so there's your equation. You work it out, you get x, plug it back in, you get y. Take that x and y right here, and find the distance between this point and this point right here. Plug them all in, boom, you're done. Should be able to get it. Look, there's only one problem like this on the test. Now there is another one. Remember when you have 2 points where they give you a line and they give you a point not on the line? Okay, it's kind of the same thing. Well, there's another one that's similar to this. Remember the other problem that's kind of like this? We actually did it before we did this problem, where they give you a point and they give you a line and you got to find the distance. Is that what you're talking about?
Saying one of these
Oh,
and
okay.
one of those.
Yeah. There'll be one of these and there'll be one of these right here. Okay. And then the rest is like there's a lot of equation of a line stuff. All right. There's only 20 questions. Every test is only 20 questions. This should be easy. There's actually, man, I was looking at the test today. I'll even tell you right now. There's 3 problems where all you got to do is almost embarrassing. It's too easy. Where all you have to do is just find the slope. I give you 2 points, and you just have to find the slope. All right. All right. So 3 problems like that. I should have only given you 1, but I put 3 on there. I don't know. All right. So but there's about 5 or 6 problems, if I remember right, that are I'll give you some information, and you got to put it in the slope-intercept form. All right. There's one problem where you use point-slope form. Do you remember point-slope form? Point-slope. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. All right. So if I give you a point and a slope, you just put it in here. So for instance, let's just make one up. Slope is, I don't know, 2/3, and then the point is -1, 5. Okay. So how would I do this? I would just go y minus what? 5 equals 2/3, and then x minus -1, which would be +1. Do I distribute the 2/3 through here? No. Keep it just like this, right? Don't mess with it after you put it in point-slope form. Make sure you read the problems. I'm telling you right now, there's only one problem where it's point-slope form. All the rest, actually, I lied. I think there's 2 problems where it's point-slope form, and there's maybe 4, maybe 5, I can't remember off the top of my head, that are slope-intercept form. What's slope-intercept form? Right, y equals mx plus b. That's the one you're most familiar with. That's slope-intercept form. Okay? So, yeah, I mean, just, there you go. You want to do one of these other problems? Do one of the ones where it's a point and a line. We haven't done that in a while. So look at number 7 or 8. Which one you want to do? Let's do 8. I know. Let's do number 8. Okay, same page. Do number 8. I'll give you about 5 minutes. Okay, work on that, and then we'll go over that one together.